what's in a name and what's in a hat. And we're going to learn about both of those things because, as we know, Shit That I Knit is kind of an unusual name for a business. Especially with the beautiful Christina. Not typical. And hats. Hats, these simple things that we put on our heads, keep us warm in the winter, make us look great, has a global reach. And Christina is here tonight to tell us about her amazing company, Shit That I Knit, and her story. Welcome, Christina.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Oh, wow. Hi, everyone. My boots are very tall. Right. I'm Christina. Thank you so much for coming. This is a little overwhelming. I'm not really a professional public speaker, so this is a lot of people. So thank you so much for coming. And to give you a quick background on Shit That I Knit, if you're not familiar with the brand, we are a high-end hand-knit accessories brand based here in Boston. And we started around 2014, 2015-ish, so it's been a couple of years. I thought that I would also do a shameless plug and say that on your seats you see a coupon code that you can use on our website, www.shitthatiknit.com. Or we have our hats in the back, so if you want to check them out after this very cerebral talk, you can grab them on your way out. So a little bit about me. I'm Christina. I live right around the corner on Brimmer Street, so this was a very easy commute for this speaking engagement. I lived there with my husband Alex. We got married June of 2018. We love it there. If anyone has an two-bedroom apartment for $500,000, we want to sell it. We'd love to buy it from you. We really love this neighborhood and never want to leave. But probably can't afford it. But we lived there, and I've lived there for a few years. And my parents are not far away, although I grew up in Weston, went to Middlesex for high school and Skidmore for college, where I majored in art history. And then when I graduated, I went into tech sales, but we'll get into that. But when I did that, my parents moved up the street, so they're also on Chestnut Street. And my beautiful mom is right here. She's very much a part of this company. She's the chief mom officer and CMO. So you can ask her lots of questions too. And I grew up in Weston with my family, obviously, and my two sisters, Ainsley and Serena. This is our little family photo. Serena lives in New York City now, and Ainsley's in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, with her husband and beautiful daughter, Ella. And so, not surprisingly, our best markets are Boston, New York, Chicago, and Jackson Hole. I make sure to make a lot of business trips out there to visit. It's a very hard place to visit, but people need a lot of hats in the mountains. Another reason why me and my sisters are incredibly close, why my family is so close, I believe, is that we spend our summers going up to Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. Raise a hand if anyone knows where that is. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's beautiful. You should go. Tourism's great up there. Cabot Trail's beautiful. But there's not a ton to do. It's not Nantucket yet. So rather than going to sailing camps and hanging out with lots of friends, we had lots of quiet time up there. We read lots of books, played a lot of Scrabble. And my mom's genius idea when we were young was on a very rainy day to take us into a local knitting store. Because what else are you going to do with an 8, 10, and 12-year-old? Fun. So we went there and picked out some yarn, and we all came home with projects. And my older sister knit a terrible scarf, my younger sister knit a terrible hat, and I decided my first project would be this purple sweater. It really started out big. And I'm not quite sure if I really knit it or if my mom knit it. We'll see. Memory doesn't serve me well on that. But I was very proud of it, and I love to knit. It like stuck with me. I wore that purple sweater to middle school. I was not popular. It was probably not my best choice. My friend from middle school remembers when I wore that. She's like, not a good idea. You should not have done that. That was not cool. But it was definitely when my love of knitting started. So I really knit a lot through middle school and high school and college. Let me just see here. It was in college where I was knitting a lot. and probably should have been either doing my homework or socializing, but I decided to knit instead, and almost failed my final art history thesis because I was knitting these weird little bats, like an animal, little bats, and watching Breaking Bad, and got really addicted to knitting them. And at this point, my sisters were like, "You're really a freak," and told me I should start a website called Shit That I Knit, making fun of me, obviously. And I said, that's a great idea. So I did it. I started the website, shitthatIknit.com. I brought it on like WordPress. Is this gonna work? For like $10 or something like that, and it was a wildly popular blog. I think my mom read it, and that's about it. And there wasn't really anything to read. It was really just photos of shit that I had knit on my dorm room rug, like mittens or a scarf or anything like that, and it was just a fun way for me to share these photos with my mom. And so I really didn't think anything of it. It was not going to be a big deal. It was just a weird thing I was doing on my own. But I was wrong. When I graduated from Skidmore, I was studying art history and minoring in business, so I thought I was going to be a very fancy auction house gal or gallery girl. But it was through a bunch of botched interviews that I realized it probably wasn't really made for the museum world. I don't really like going to museums, turns out. Probably shouldn't work in one. So obviously, next best bet is to go into tech sales. Why not? My dad told me to, so I did. And so I worked at a fun company called Level Up. Has anyone ever heard of Level Up? Yeah, you've seen it, Sweet Green or Beloco, you can pay with your phone. I started there when it was very new, and we were doing local sales, so I was selling to pizza shops and coffee stores and stuff like that. Cold calling, it was a tough time, but I liked it a lot. But when I graduated and started this job, it was always my fun fact, in the icebreaker games. Hi, I'm Christina, I'm 22, and I have a knitting blog called Shit That I Knit, and people would always laugh. So it kind of stuck with me. And over here. It was around this time that Instagram was really starting to get bigger. Many of us don't remember what life was like without Instagram, but it was this new thing, and so I decided that I would take my very popular knitting blog and change it into an Instagram account instead. And it was sort of a two-pronged reason for that. One was the DIY market, the DIY space was really getting big. There's such a great community on Instagram of people sharing things they've made, so it was fun to connect with those types of people. The other thing was I was 22 and single and didn't want to have knitting photos all over my Instagram. Didn't think that was a good look for me. So I decided I'd start this handle at Shit That I Knit. And it was really fun. It was a great way for me to share photos really easily, a little more traction than my blog was getting. And so it was through that experience I was really starting to pick it up from more of just like my fun little side thing to, it looks like this could be kind of fun. And this was also the time where people were looking at my Instagram and saying, can you make me that? Like, I want a hat, can I have a headband? And I was like, yeah, you can pay me for it. Knitting's expensive, and I'm a capitalist and, money hungry little 22-year-old. So I wanted to figure out a way that I could sell these things. So I decided that I would apply to SOA. Anyone been to SOA in the South End? Great brunch activity. Go over to the South End and brunch and go to SOA and walk around on Sunday. So I applied to the last 2 weekends in October of 2014, and that was in the spring. So I told my mom, guess what? We have this great opportunity. You and I get to knit all summer, and because I got into this massive market, and it's huge. So we spent the whole summer knitting up an inventory. It was a lot of work, and I'm sure my mom can have things to say about my drill sergeant tendencies of making sure we had lots of things done. But it was a really weird assortment of hats and mittens and scarves and headbands and whatever, and pom-pom garlands. I ordered this sign from Vistaprint. It was very fancy. We had a top 10 and a cute table and tablecloth, and it was very simple, but we were really excited and very nervous about it. It was, my first attempt at anything. And the market, we were super nervous, drove over. I think my dad dropped us off, at 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning, it's freezing out, and I was like, why are we doing this? I'm such a weirdo, this is such a bad idea. But it ended up going really, really well. We had those 2 weekends there, and we sold out. People loved the name. You know, even just people walking by and sort of sounding it out and being like, oh, I did, and laughing. So it just was clear that there was something there. People really loved the brand and loved interacting with us and loved our products and how it's handmade. So there's definitely something to keep moving on. And at this time I still had my full-time job, mind you. So after this great time at our market, it was clear that maybe me and my mom were not able to knit all the products all the time for social reasons and carpal tunnel and a host of issues. So I decided that one night in February I would see if I could get people to help me knit. So I put up an Instagram saying, if you like watching Netflix, drinking a glass of wine, and knitting on a Friday night rather than going out, I'm a girl. Join me and help me knit my products. And I really figured either A, no one would apply and I'd have to delete the post the next day because that would be very embarrassing, or B, it would be mostly older women who wanted to knit for maybe charity or just to get involved with something knitting related. And I woke up the next morning to find a huge amount of applications from girls all in their 20s and 30s who love to knit, just like me. They love to knitflex, which is a fun term for Netflix and knit. Like not Netflix and chill, Netflix and knit. So it was really fun, and so we spent the next couple of weeks and months figuring out how to get them to figure out if they could knit things properly, quality control, figure out their gauge. I don't know if any knitters in the room, but it's kind of hard to make everyone knit the exact same way. Everyone, loose knitters, tight knitters, good knitters, bad knitters. But it was really fun, and so that was our first sort of taste of maybe we could make this into a production system. This could be the way that we make our inventory. I definitely was not doing all of my work. I was working at a company called Criteo, which is digital retargeting. I was knitting in conference rooms and running around putting hats on my friends and taking Instagrams with them outside coffee shops at lunch and meeting with a lot of people to talk about my idea. A lot of people in the startup world and saying what do you think of this? And finally one of my mentors said, you're crazy, what are you doing? You're not doing a great job at work and you're not putting your all into this. You're gonna regret it if you don't do it full time. I was like, well, I don't have any money. There's a lot of reasons I'm not doing this full time, but it came to the point where I figured I'm 25, I'd so regret it if I looked back at this when I'm 50 and have had this life and look back and say, God, I kind of had this thing once and I didn't give it a shot. What if that had been something? And so I didn't want to regret that. So I came home that afternoon and told that to my parents and said, I'm going to give myself a year. I don't know what I thought of that, but I'm going to give myself a year and I'll know by then, and we'll all know if it's not working, and if it's not working, I'll go back and get another job, because I can always get another sales job. And they were actually very supportive. And I'm like, okay, let's do this, you're crazy. But, actually very nice about it. And so I went in the next day, quit my job, cried the whole way home. Criteo told me I could come back if I wanted to, which was very nice of them, but also probably meant they thought I was insane and I probably would need a job very soon. But yeah, that was my jump off the deep end, which was scary. And so my plan it was May of 2015, so my plan was that I would spend an entire summer working with our team in Boston to build an inventory, and while they were knitting, I would work on launching a Kickstarter in September to raise some money, get some capital in for the company. So it was a lot of work. We were getting yarn back and forth. People were so I moved home also. Small fact. Yeah. My parents are really great roommates though. I mean, the meals are amazing, the amenities are great, the showers are clean, it's really nice there. But yeah, tough when you're 25. But I did that, and so we were having girls actually come to the house and pick up yarn. My dad's like, what are you doing? My mom would have to go, we'd go to Cambridge to bars and wait for people so they could come get yarn and drop off hats and it was crazy, and it was a lot of quality control problems. Girls would bring back their hats and some would be great. We had this one guy who was actually amazing, his were always perfect. Then some girls, you couldn't even get it on your head, and you'd look at them and they were looking at you kind of scared, and you're like, I don't like it fits. But I'd still pay them because I I don't want to deal with confrontation. So it wasn't like the best setup, but it was a really cute and fun way to get started, and they were all incredibly supportive, and it was like having a team automatically. And so while we were doing that, I was also working on this Kickstarter, and I don't know if any of you have ever done a Kickstarter campaign, but it takes a lot of work to make sure that it's successful. So I spent the entire summer working on getting influencers to know about us, media, get stories to publish on the day that we launched. So when we hit launch, it wasn't like crickets. And so it actually ended up going really well since I worked so hard on it. We hit our goal in under 24 hours, huge sigh of relief, and then ended up raising $25,000 in total for the campaign. And it was a great thing for us. I now realize there are easier ways to get $25,000, but it was great because we got our hats on almost 300 people right off the bat. And it created great buzz, and it was just a great way to start out. It was really nice and exciting. And then, the season was great. We had a great winter season, a lot of influencers and fun people get excited about the brand. But towards the spring of 2016, it was apparent that the $25,000 probably wasn't going to last long. It certainly wasn't going to get me out of my parents' apartment or pay a payroll or anything like that. So I needed to think about how I was truly going to scale the business. And as you heard about meeting up with people in bars in Cambridge, like it's just not a great business plan. Investors are not like, yeah, I want to get on that. So I had to find a different way to have a supply chain. So I did a lot of Googling. We were getting all of our yarn from Peru anyway. We use a really great Peruvian merino wool. So I started doing research on Peru and the tradition of knitting down there. More Googling, lots of Googling, and found a really great philanthropic organization that connects artisan groups to brands down in South America. So I called this woman out of the blue and said, I don't know how to do this. And this really nice woman, Karen, luckily was there, and she was like, I know a perfect group for you. They're down in Lima, run by 2 American girls. You should link up with them. So they're actually the same group we still work with today. And that was in February of 2016. And that was sort of when I was working this out, trying to raise a small friends and family round, also applying for jobs, because I was like, this is not working at all. So I was trying to get another sales job, not really sure which route I was going to take. It was a little dark. It kind of felt like my year was up and it was time for me to go back to the real world. But was able to secure this team down in Peru, raise a very small round of funding so that I could pay for our first thing of inventory, and still live at home for a little while, which is nice. So that's how we got linked up with our team in Peru. But yeah, this was not scalable, me knitting at home, my parents' roof deck. So yeah, the team in Peru was great. Again, like our team in Boston, came with its own set of challenges. As I mentioned in this talk, I have an art history background, I have a sales background, I don't have a background in manufacturing or design or exporting, importing, freight forwarding, customs, all the things that come with actually producing something outside the US, all the lead times, creating tech packs. Like, what is a tech pack? I still don't really know. Specs, and it was just really a lot of details and really difficult to figure out. And I did some digging the other day and realized that we started this relationship with this team in Peru in February and didn't see our first samples really until October. So it took a really long time to get everything working, to get them to make the yarn the right way. So it was not terribly easy to figure out. But we did, and it was great. And while this team in Peru was starting to make all of our inventory, in 2017, 2018, we really saw a lot of growth. We have had a lot of luck from social media marketing. I've grown the entire business without traditional advertising. We don't spend a lot of money on ads. I mean, we're starting to now, but in the past, we literally didn't spend a dime on any sort of traditional advertising. It's all been Instagram, influencers wearing our things, celebrities. I've managed to get our hats on Katie Couric and Sarah Jessica Parker, Kristen Cavallari, all through DMing them on Instagram pretty much, and appealing to them with our story of female entrepreneurship and our team in Peru. And we've had some great organic PR, so it's really just all been word of mouth, but it's created a lot of buzz and been able to help us grow our business and work more with our team in Peru. So since then, we've raised some more money. Our team has grown a lot. It's nice to have some work friends. We're here in the back, which is so nice, but we have Sarah was my first hire straight out of BC, and she's our operations manager. We have Tori Boyce in marketing, Meg Teggart in PR, Claudia in events, and Clem in customer service and fulfillment. So we've got like a really great full team, which is really nice. So I don't have to be running around like a crazy person as much anymore. And then our team in Peru has really grown. We now have a team of 170 women who knit for us. And they are my favorite part of the business. I mean, I love my team here, but the women down in Peru really make all of this worth it. The beauty of this job for them is that they can knit from home. So in a very machismo culture where their husbands don't really want them working far from home, they want them taking care of the kids, but they don't have enough money to really properly take care of their kids, they can earn income without getting childcare, without having to leave. So that's really nice. And in addition to that, they create these networks in the outskirts of Lima that really act as a support system. So they go and knit together sometimes, and they say that it's really become like a sisterhood, and they help each other through hard times. You know, pick a kid up from school for someone if they need it. So some are much older, so they can give them insight into what's going on. It's just a really nice group. And we all connect over knitting. They can't believe that I know how to knit or my mom knows how to knit. Like, you can beat us, you don't know how to knit. I'm like, really not as good as you. That's very true. But it's really nice to connect over that. In Peru, we also have a really great supply chain for our materials that we use. So we use only 100% natural materials from a sustainability perspective. It's 100% baby alpaca, 100% merino wool, which is great to put on your body, like the dry cleaning. You don't want to be putting plastics and toxins all over yourself. So that's always nice, and these things just are meant to last longer. So when you're buying one of our hats, it's not like buying a $40 hat from H&M. It's going to last you for seasons and seasons and keep you warm, and you're not going to just throw it away. Textiles industry is pretty bad about that, so we hope that you'll wear it a lot. Another way we give back is our Give a Shit knit kits, which are knitting kits designed to be given to young adults with cancer. I came up with the idea a few years ago after a friend had been diagnosed with leukemia, and her friends and mom asked me to come over and teach a knitting class. And I was like, sure, you know, I'm happy to do that. And we sat around and knit, and it was just a little girl's time. And after the class, her mom came up to me and said, you know, Christina, for the past 2 hours, I haven't thought about her cancer once. And since her diagnosis, I have thought about her cancer every single minute of every single day. And this has been so nice for me to be able to turn my brain off and just think about, just relax a little bit, because it's been such a stressful time. And so that really stuck with me, and so I started doing a lot of research on meditative knitting and therapeutic knitting and the benefits of that. And I realized that's really why I like knitting so much, is that it is so calming and so meditative, and I'm not really a yogi yet, so at least I have my knitting to sort of calm myself and get off my phone. So this is meant to be something that is given to young adults when they come in for treatment. They are given a kit and they can learn how to knit from wherever they are. So we have tutorials on our website, video tutorials. We have all the yarn donated from Lion Brand Yarn, and they can just knit from wherever. So if they're in quarantine and can't leave, they don't have to go to a knitting class. So we partnered with Dana-Farber and now work with about 20 other young adult programs. So those can be given out, or you can send individual kits out to a friend in need from our website. Yeah, moving forward, we just hope to continue growing at the rate we are. I have this wonderful team now, so I'm sure we will, but it's just more of this Instagram viral moments, celebrity endorsements, and a lot of word of mouth. A lot of people like you. The Boston community has been so supportive of us, so we hope to just continue to grow, and yeah, that's about it. It's definitely not fitting anymore, but I feel really strongly about keeping it close to us so we can see all the products. Since they are so handmade, sometimes there's some quality issues, so you want to make sure we can check that, and it really motivates me. If I didn't see it every day, I don't know if I'd be going as hard as I do, so we keep it all in-house.
I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
Who would you say are your biggest competitor, because it's such a unique niche?
Mm-hmm.
And my second question is, I'm assuming you just do e-commerce, or are you looking to get into any retailers?
So the first question is about our competitors, and then we don't really have any like direct competitor. We're in sort of a different price point than like a Montclair or Eugenia Kim, which is sort of $250 and up for a hat, and we're much more expensive than a Love Your Melon, which is in the $40 range. So we kind of in the middle there, but I think any hat company, if anyone can say, well, I can get it for $30, you know, that's slightly competitive to us, but they don't have all the different compelling stories that we have. And then for distribution, we are 80% on our website, and then we do wholesale. Whitney and Winston sells a lot of shit for us. So we are there, and then lots of boutiques, a lot of ski shops out west, but no major retailer yet. Yeah?
Love your wrap.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
My question relates to helping women in developing nations.
Mhm.
So with what you've been able to do with the cooperative kind of system in Peru, do you have any vision for helping women in other parts of the world?
Yeah, so the question's about helping other women besides just the women we work with in Peru. We are starting to look into different groups. There are other companies that do this in women knit all over the world or make things all over the world, so we're definitely looking into that. Because I think that this cottage industry is such a great system where women can work from home and earn an income on something that they already know how to do, and it's something that's in their tradition. So I think as we grow and our products diversify a bit, we will be looking into different areas. Yeah.
Where can I get one of the knit kits for the cancer patient?
So on our website, on our Give a Shit part, you can actually go and submit a form, and we'll send it to whoever you want. Yeah, it's on our website. Yeah.
Where does the fur from pom-poms come from?
They're actually
From
faux.
Peru as well?
No, they're faux fur. We call them pom-poms, and they're from New Jersey. It's a very rare but yeah, we're very happy to be using faux fur versus real fur. Yeah. I'm trying to get one more. Yeah.
Do you ever design for the women in Peru?
Yes, the question about designing with the women in Peru. Their team has grown quite a bit as we've grown. We've sort of grown at the same time, which has been really cool to see. And so we can oftentimes send them a really quick sketch on the back of a napkin, and then they'll perfect it. We actually launched a really cute kids line today with Hilaria Baldwin. She's Alec Baldwin's wife, and they have bunny ears and cat ears. And we basically sent down the prompt to our team, and they're like, "Can you throw some bunny ears on our balaclavas and some fox?" And they came up with how cute and special they are. So we do work pretty closely with them on design. Yeah.
Do you do custom work?
No, not yet. We do embroider, so you can embroider names on our party wraps and on our kids' hats now. But because of the lead times, it's too hard to do custom, unless it's a big order. Beacon Hill Women's Forum custom hats. I'm sure you all want those. It's very expensive for custom, but it's very worth it.
I mentioned the quality of your yarn is a big selling point.
Mhm.
What's your vision? Where do you see yourself? I mean, you're very young to start the business. Congratulations. Where do you see yourself in?
It's a hard question. It's just about where I see myself in 20 years. I'd love some help with that. It's always changing, but we've been able to capture a great size of the market right now in New England, but we have so much more to grab nationally. So I think we got to start there, but we are starting to diversify our product offerings. So we've got into earrings and wraps, focusing more on just handmade accessories made by women. So, but being also a brand you really want to believe in, and accessible to everyone, and a happy story. But yeah, let's see. Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about your fellowship with Tory Burch? I think it's really exciting for you. So, what's your biggest takeaway?
Yeah, so I did it's a question about the Tory Burch Fellowship that I did this summer. She says that Tory Burch started her company because she wanted to start a foundation for women. And when she started her business, she was told she should never have philanthropy and business in the same sentence, which is so unlike what we all hear today. Every business has to have some sort of corporate give back. So a couple years ago, she managed to start this foundation to support female entrepreneurs. So I was a fellow this past June, and got to go down to New York for the week and spend the week there with 50 other female entrepreneurs, which was really great, just to connect with other women who are sort of in the same boat. So that was really therapeutic for me. Nice to vent with people. Like, I became friends with someone who has a cybersecurity business. Like, we clearly don't have a lot in common, but like, you know, my password's the same for everything, but she, you know, has similar issues, so it was really nice to connect with different women, so that was really nice. They've had me come back down for panels and speaking engagements, so they're a very supportive group. It's been nice. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
If you could go back to the beginning when you were starting your business and it was super scary and pick your tipping point where you believed you had it,
Mm-hmm.
where would that moment be?
It's about like when I knew it was time to quit the job. I think it was, I didn't do it until I was really ready. I think, you know, some people take the jump way before they have any traction, any sales, and I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to jump off and be like, oh, like, what now? And I think a lot of people do that because they get antsy and they're like, I got this really great idea, I want to start my business, but then it takes all the fun out of it because it puts all the pressure on paying the bills on what you love. So I really waited until we had some sales, had Instagram followers, had some PR, and I talked to so many people. I mean, I was not working. I was out for coffee every day, like grabbing people's ear, like, can I talk? And a lot of them, like old men who had no idea what I was talking about. But the final one was a guy who is a girl I went to high school with, and he did all the branding behind Apple. And I just really trusted him. And he was like, you need to quit your job. Like, you need to do this. So that was my last and final. I still blame him. I blame Tom. But yeah, that was my last point. Yeah. Paul, tell me when to stop.
Have you thought of going on Shark Tank?
Shark Tank's a question. Yes, and a lot of people suggest it. I don't know. We'd have to figure out if you could say shit on TV. But it could be kind of funny to bleep it out the whole time. I don't know. Maybe at some point, I would probably set it up so that I wouldn't get a deal, because I don't think you want to get a deal there. You just want to get the publicity. But I don't know if our product is so niche and high end if it would be the right fit, but you never know. Mr. Wonderful belongs to the U Club, right? So I could probably find him on the treadmill and pitch him there. Okay, last one.
Last one. How do you color it with yarn?
Color the
You
yarn?
get it off of the llamas, but how do you actually create the color? Because
We're going to be here all night.
I know a person who's a weaver.
Okay.
They like get these flowers and they boil them in these pots and then they hang them in the yarn and buy the barn. How do you actually color it?
The question's about dyeing our yarn. So we make all the yarn, like the merino we use for our hats is big merino fiber. It's very thick, and so that all comes in white, and then they dye it. The solid colors we have is a big industrial dyer, and they just dump it in. But then we also have hand dyes. And our whole team went to Lima and then to Arequipa, where our yarn is made this spring, and it was really cool to see the hand dyes, how they actually lie out all the yarn that's been spun, and then with their hands and different dyes, they actually go and like scrunch it up. And so it creates this really pretty variegated. So our midnight, ocean, and cardinal colors are all really, every hat is different. You don't know really what you're going to get. And then they actually lay it out in the sun to dry. So it's a very long process. The tour of the facility was very long. Really, we could have used the tourist version of this, but it was very cool to see how it's a lot of work. Yeah. Yeah. Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christina. That was such an inspiring story. I really teared up actually. It was such a great story of support from your family. I thank you so much for being here. And you really turn your true passions into this socially conscious, right, and environmentally conscious, and economically extremely successful enterprise using really your ingenuity and your entrepreneurship skills. And thank you so much.